What is good, Carter? People over the channel. It's your boy, Bobbalam. In today's video, we're giving a big update on the Travis Scott situation, the good, the bad, the ugly, but it's actually not looking all too bad for Travis Scott on the streaming numbers wise. But when it comes to lawsuits, boy might be screwed, or bro, since he's older than me. So let's get right into it. Firstly, apparently Fortnite's Travis Scott emote has been removed in the wake of the rapper's deadly Astroworld concert tragedy. To be expected, I assume that many organizations are going to start cutting ties with Travis Scott, at least in the short term, just because they don't like to be associated. I think once this tragedy blows over a little bit, not that it should, so nobody come at me, I'm just saying, like, you know, news passes, people mourn and feel better with time. Time is the greatest healing agent. But Fortnite is not the only organization to cut ties. I think like Coachella, maybe like Day in Vegas, a festival coming up, also canceled Travis Scott's performance. I don't think Travis Scott would want to perform anyway, given he's probably traumatized. I would be too if I was partly to blame for what happened, at least legally, or however you deem it to be. I'm not in your head. But also in better news, Travis Scott has reportedly agreed to cover the cost of the funerals for the dead victims and paying for therapy for those who survive. I think it's like 1 month free for some online therapy for all the people traumatized at the festival, or people who weren't even at the festival but saw videos, or people related to the situation in any way. I know a lot of Travis Scott fans in general, at least from what I've seen on r/Travis Scott, are a bit concerned because like a lot of fans put their whole personality onto an artist that they listen to, and when that artist, you know, is getting canceled, it's like they start breaking down too. Which leads me to what we were talking about before, by which quite literally hashtag cancel Travis Scott was trending on Twitter a couple days ago. People are starting to click don't play this artist on my recommendations on Spotify, but it looks like from the day that we're gonna go over a little bit later in this video, this ain't working. But they really are trying their best. I mean, they literally started a fuck Travis Scott subreddit, by which there are 30.9k members, 1.5k online. They even have like a live discussion, a lounge talking about how much they hate Travis Scott. A lot of the people that are commenting weren't even fans of Travis Scott. They're just literally there to hate on him and find another purpose in life so that they can feel some sort of attention. Like, again, I'm not defending Travis Scott to the death, because I do believe he is partially to blame, given that his name was on the festival. You cannot deny that in my eyes. But you cannot just assume that this guy is the devil for what happened. He was most likely just negligent. He did not do it on purpose. However, the real reason that bro is in trouble is that not only was he sued by a lot of the victims' families trying to justify their child's death, but now law firms on Instagram are literally running ads for victims or people who were just at Astroworld Festival so that they can use them to acquire money from Travis Scott by getting a percentage of the litigation. You see this a lot on like TV commercials, like with prescriptions, that if you were affected negatively by a certain prescription, like you had side effects, these lawyers will literally put ads out so they can get more clients to sue another person, knowing that they're probably gonna win after what happened in the catastrophe. And the caption says, "Attention, were you a paid attendee at the Astroworld Festival?" So people who weren't even hurt by this are trying to sue Travis Scott. These law firms are despicable in my eyes. I'm not saying that Travis Scott and Live Nation don't deserve to be sued, but like, let the families who are actually suffering real damages with their lives gone, or like, I know there's a 9-year-old in a coma, they are completely justified. But to run ads on this, to capitalize on a situation like this, these lawyers have literally no heart. And because of all these ads, I guess at this point, just thus far, it could increase very well. There are at least 18 lawsuits that have been reportedly filed against Travis Scott and organizers of the Astroworld Festival. As I mentioned before, there's another 9-year-old victim that is in a medically induced coma. I believe they have brain swelling and their organs are failing after getting trampled. And reportedly by TMZ, Live Nation, the management company for this whole Astroworld Festival, only took out a $26 million liability insurance policy, whereas the total amount of damages sought after in these lawsuits total is over $100 million. So Travis Scott and/or Live Nation, most likely the company's gonna pay a larger share of this, but Travis Scott will too, from his previous tweets encouraging / inciting riots, or that's how they're gonna use it legally. They've got like $74 million plus to cover with these lawsuits. But I think Live Nation is owned by Rock Nation, Jay-Z, and he's a billionaire, so you know, they could probably handle this. Next, I wanted to discuss this new information that came out claiming that Travis Scott's Astrofest had a 56-page operation plan which had protocols for an active shooter, bomb threats, and severe weather, but did not have a protocol for crowd surge, which is what transpired and caused all of the issues and victims. And Travis did not have the permission to stop the show, only the executive producer and festival director. I love my boys over at Strap. They do good work, but I just want to personally disagree. I think everybody was at the show for Travis Scott and friends, mostly Travis Scott. It is his festival. Maybe he didn't have the explicit power in the protocols. However, he could literally just say like, yo, we're gonna end the show a little bit early, and he would not get in any legal issues for like refunding the tickets or whatever because of the obvious safety hazards that were going on. So I don't think this is a valid argument. That being said, do I think Travis Scott was fully aware of what was going on? No, I think if he knew and/or if the communication to him and the executive producer and festival director by the security and the medics, just the whole staff, if they communicated that it was time to stop the show because people are literally dying, then I think he would have done it. Now, some people are arguing that there would have been riots if he stopped the show early. That does not make sense to me at all, because he stopped the show 30 minutes or 45 minutes after the first death, or maybe it completed, and there was no riot. People were already there for literally hours, so I don't think that they would be that mad. 50,000 to 100,000 people in the audience have to get out anyway, so no matter what, there was going to be something that went down. That's just too many people in a confined space, if you ask me. Now, something that was really odd was that apparently within these protocols that we just discussed, the Astroworld staff was instructed to refer to dead concert goers as Smurfs. Now, I don't think this is necessarily specific to Astroworld. These protocols are customary to all Live Nation events, most likely, or large ones at that. Maybe there's a reason they're called Smurfs to not off-put staff, making them believe there's a high likelihood that people pass away, but it is a bit insensitive at first glance. I think we can all agree upon that, especially since Smurfs has like a negative connotation in it with all uses of the word. And last story regarding Travis Scott's lawsuit is that after performing at Astrofest, he attended an after party at Dave & Buster's with Drake and apparently was still unaware of the tragedy and the deaths. And if this is true, I think this just proves that Travis Scott was not trying to kill these people. He was not sacrificing people in the crowd. All these conspiracies are dumb, and you're almost illegitimizing the victims who passed away. But I already know some people are gonna come out and say Travis Scott went to Dave & Buster's celebrating his sacrifice of all the victims at the Astrofest. Bro, shut up. And related to Drake, he's also apparently part of these lawsuits. He may remain liable given that he was a guest performer and people are going after him because they know he has a lot of money. It really depends on what he said during the show or during his tweets. I don't think he said anything to the same degree as Travis Scott to sneak in and break down the barricades though. But lastly, we gotta talk about the impact of Travis Scott's career after this Astrofest tragedy, and that I was expecting his streams to go down after he was already getting blackballed by Fortnite, by other festival organizations that were taking him off the lineup. I assumed he was gonna get taken off of playlists, but apparently since the Astroworld Festival incident, all of Travis Scott's albums have increased in daily streams. Sicko Mode has re-entered the top 200 on Spotify, and Travis has gained almost 500K new followers on Instagram, which tells me maybe press is just press. There was no such thing as negative publicity, and that people who didn't know who Travis Scott was, since this is such national news at this point, that people actually checked him out, And whether they're hating or loving, they're still listening to his music or increasing the engagement on all of his social media platforms, thus improving his revenue and career. But something I thought of that may kind of skew the data a little bit is that he did just release 2 songs, Escape Plan and Mafia, and that could have some sort of impact on the increase of his daily streams, since he has not dropped any solo music in a while. And so once people start listening to these new songs that are promoted on playlists prior to this Astrofest incident, then the algorithm boosts them more music by Travis Scott, or just psychologically they want to listen to more Travis Scott since they liked the new music, so they check out his other songs. That being said, I think we really got to check back in like 2-3 weeks. But for now, it looks like Travis Scott's career is completely fine. I do not think he will be performing anytime soon though, nor do I think Utopia or Dystopia, whatever project he's planning to release or was planning to release in 2022, maybe he's gonna have to delay that. But with all that being said, it's been your boy Bobbalam signing off. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen to Travis Scott's career after this within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Once the numbers even out, there's less national news about him and the negative impacts can kind of settle in more than just the overblown press. Make sure to like and subscribe on the Bob Game if you with it. Peace out, people. Know what I'm saying?